Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. Get it going, you guys. We are back once again for episode 21 of the Sports Buffoons podcast. I am Mike Settle with our boys here, Tanner Dawson and Jason JG. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's cracking, guys?
What's up, guys?
Oh my gosh, we had a pretty interesting week this past week for sure. But one thing I do want to give a quick shout out to we're past 200 now, but 200th follower on Twitter, Mr. Sherlock Mahomes himself. He is supposedly a football coach, but I go ahead and give him a follow. He's a big Chiefs fan. I've seen lots of retweets and things like some from Lance the Spoken, stuff like that. So we appreciate you very much for following along and listening along and joining in on our process and everything, and giving you guys some input as far as in the world of sports, and especially Chiefs and football in particular. And one shout out real quick. Our favorite brewery in the area, we are actually from Kelce, but we actually live near Lenexa, and a great brewery in Lenexa is Limitless Brewing Company. It is community focused. It's a great time to go in there with friends and group, and we play ping pong there actually every Tuesday. So Tanner, tell me a little bit about Limitless, what you like about it.
All right, so Limitless Brewery is probably one of the best breweries out there right now since day one. But the big thing with them is they're a big community brewery. They've actually gathered in a lot of local Johnson County breweries, and they've kind of created a community with it. They've proposed different laws that are outdated. They really push for that, but they also bring the community closer together with weekend concerts, movies, barbecue, shrimp, boils, etc. And they're really big on mental health. That is probably one of the strong points. If you walk into the brewery, you'll really see they actually had a wall when they opened dedicated to mental health, pretty much. So that's the biggest thing I think with Limitless right now.
Yeah, we are big fans of them for sure. Dave and Emily have always been great to us over there, so we appreciate them very much, and as well as the great beer that they provide as well. So we will keep checking in there, and we encourage you guys to go check them out as well. This is not some kind of sponsor or anything like that. We are just being honest and genuine about our guys over there. So thank you very much, Limitless Brewing Company. Check them out, you guys. So, Tanner, we had a lot to talk about with the Chiefs, obviously, in the get-go of this episode 21. And so we just had the biggest game, rushing-wise, of the Chiefs in the last, how many years now? Like 5 years or so? Andy Reid actually had 46 rushing attempts in this previous game, and it was pretty surprising to see us win in such a different kind of way. We're not normally used to seeing the Chiefs go out and against the Buffalo Bills of all teams, who've actually done pretty good against the run so far this season, and put up over 240 yards rushing on 46 attempts. Clyde Edwards-Helaire putting up big numbers. He is the Fresh Prince of Kansas City. So,
That's right.
Anyway, guys, what did you think about the game? Anything stood out to you as far as the Chiefs? Recap real quick of that Week 6 game.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first weather game that we've had in the NFL this season, and so the Chiefs decided they were going to run the ball, which was a good decision. I don't think you would have seen them with quite as many rushing attempts, except for that weather that they were having out there. The thing that struck me the most was just that Chiefs offensive line basically imposed their will on the Buffalo front seven. I think Buffalo's offense looked a little bit out of sync, but the Chiefs dominated the time of possession, which is definitely what you want to do when it's raining. And I just want to throw out that my favorite play of the game was Patrick Mahomes when he made it look like he was going to go out of bounds. And then he said, "Oh, hell no, I'm not going out of bounds." And he just dove for that first down. Didn't get it, but eventually they did get the first down after that. And that, to me, that was my favorite play of the game.
I fully agree. So the Buffalo game, the big thing here, I thought Mahomes, he was almost perfect through that game.
I loved it. He played great. That? Well, you got to understand, he wasn't throwing downfield because they were playing two safety high the whole game. Yeah. So they were taking away the deep throws, but he was taking underneath. Run the ball, play underneath, win the game.
So we did lose Mitchell Schwartz in that game. And what's the lineman? The rookie, Allegreda?
Yeah, Nick Allegreda.
Nick Allegreda. He came in, and he just seemed like a dominant force in guard and on the tackle side. And remember, it's on the tackle. So I don't know. Maybe that's some kind of spark for the offensive line. could be good depth that we now feel better about it. Don't forget Rankin's coming back here in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks.
We do need depth. For right now, the O-line is looking a little weak as far as starting quality goes, so that has been an issue for sure. Tanner, I don't know if you noticed this, actually. Talk about the O-line real quick. Did you notice Pro Football Focus had every Chiefs O-lineman ranked 70 or above after this weekend?
No, actually, I did not.
Yeah, they all had positive grades, so that's awesome. I thought Dan Kilgore did amazing, as a matter of fact, at center. So
Yes.
That guy stood out in the run blocking game. Way
was very
more
impressive.
different than what Austin Ryder gives us.
Yeah, definitely. One big thing too, you got to keep in mind too, the D line. They really pressured Josh Allen on just making him throw the ball. He did have a pick or a turnover in that game, but it was a lot of passes that were overthrown, underthrown, not quite to the receivers. It was the hard catches for a lot of the receivers. So props to the D line and Spags defense on getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, they definitely, you can tell that he did do some more work as far as doing more exotic blitzes, coming at him with different looks. So the Chiefs definitely game planned pretty well for that game. So as far as going into next week, can we carry over this running game going against the Denver Broncos here at 3:25 on Sunday? Because I don't know if this is going to be something that's consistent. I don't know if we can do this nearly every week because every team's going to play us a little bit differently. Are we going to see a situation where we're seeing more of a passing game again? Mahomes only had 26 attempts, which is one of his lowest of his career, as a matter of fact. So is this something where we can get the running game continued with the addition of Le'Veon Bell, as well as obviously still having Clyde Edwards-Helaire and still having Darrell Williams in the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to keep the running game going for sure because I do believe that the Chiefs now have the best backfield duo in the NFL now that they've got Le'Veon Bell and Edwards-Helaire. And my hope is that they can rotate these two guys pretty evenly throughout the season just to keep them fresh. But definitely, I think you're going to see maybe like a 70-30 timeshare this first week, but hopefully by the end of the season, we might get it to 50-50. Now, in this game, I do see that Denver has won 2 games in a row. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the Broncos are due for a regression here after winning 2 games in a row. Denver's just had way too many injuries to be able to compete with the Chiefs. And Noah Fant is questionable in this game. And if he doesn't play, I definitely like the Chiefs to cover the 10 points.
That's fair. Yeah, I think with Denver, too, you got to remember Drew Lock's coming off his first game, or that'll be now his second game, but he didn't perform really well.
No, but actually another thing about Pro Football Focus, they gave him a good grade. They said he played well, but he was like 10 of 24.
Didn't he have like 2 or 3 picks or something like that too?
Yeah, they said he played well, which I was like, okay, you guys don't make sense anymore.
I don't know about that. I think the big thing with him, that it's just gaining confidence back. He started, first week pretty well, but he lost a lot of receivers while he was out. So I think it's just gaining chemistry with those receivers that are there now on that part. So I don't know. Denver.
What do you think of Tim Patrick, Tanner?
I like Tim Patrick. I think he's a hell of an athlete, first off.
Yeah, looks really
he's
good.
made some freaking catches that, a lot of young guys won't actually make. And he's not afraid to get hit. I think that's the biggest thing of all.
And he's big-bodied, too.
Big body.
Actually, when I first heard Tim Patrick's name, I went, wait, is that old tight end back in the NFL again? They used to play for the Patriots? I was very confused for a second there, but no, it's a different Tim Patrick, as a matter of fact. And Jerry Jeudy's playing pretty well, too, at the same time, which we expected that from Jerry Jeudy. He's a good player, just a matter of circumstance and getting more involved in schematically, game plan-wise, and just making plays that way.
Correct.
You good with that? So, Jason, I just have a real quick question. You said you think it's going to be a 70-30 timeshare at the running back position of the Chiefs. Who's 70, who's 30 on that?
Well, I think CEH, Edwards-Helaire, is going to be the 70 at this point. I just think they need to give Le'Veon Bell a little bit of time to become acclimated to the offense. And once he learns all those plays, I project that it's going to be more 50-50 as we move on through the season. But definitely CEH, he knows everything at this point, and he's one of the leading rushers in the NFL, so you got to give him the rock for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you on that for sure, definitely. I think that he's a player on this team who's already been integrated. He already had 2 100-yard games, one that's over 150 with the Chiefs now in his first 6 games in the NFL. And I think Le'Veon Bell is going to be used actually quite a bit more as a receiving back early on, and Clyde gets more of those touches on the ground game. So that's my theory, at least on the early on parts. Going forward, it's tough to say.
Yeah, I mean, for the split, it's all going to be game plan, really, for it. I think it'll be pretty even carries, to be honest with you on that. But speaking of running backs, guys, Denver, Phillip Lindsay had a heck of a game against the Patriots. He had 23 carries, 101 yards last week, while Melvin was sick, as we so say. He was probably still out partying somewhere. But, I mean, we contain Lindsay. We put pressure on Drew Lock and make him throw the ball again, make him turn over the ball. We take care of it on our defense. If we play like we did with the Bills, with the Denver Broncos defense, the Chiefs, no doubt, win this game even without Mahomes throwing for 100 yards.
Yeah, the Chiefs have won 9 in a row against the Broncos, and 5 now. I think we're playing at Arrowhead, right?
That is, I believe it is an Arrowhead game.
Yeah, we've won 5 in a row there. So the Broncos are the last team remaining that has not beat the Chiefs since 2015. The Raiders have beat us twice, and then once was the Chargers. So we are, 20 like we talked about, we're 28-3 against AFC West since 2015. So I definitely still think that we're going to continue to win against the Denver Broncos.
The game is at Denver, by the way.
It is at Denver. Okay, you can't tell anymore with the fans not being there. You don't pay attention. One question for you guys: the Chiefs, as we saw versus Oakland, they like to play down to their competition level. Does that come into your guys' minds at all? A factor if the Chiefs are like that? Like, will they do that against the Broncos?
That doesn't really bother me. The only thing that bothers me is sometimes Andy Reid's history of getting a big lead and then playing too conservatively. And I'm not really worried about that even anymore, just because the fact he's got Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes is going to make sure that they win that game at all costs.
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals where we've done that before in the past, but it's not like all the time. We don't always play down to our competition. It may seem like that, but keep in mind, it's the NFL, you guys. The NFL has good teams in it, and the Chiefs are, we think, a top 3 team, maybe the best team. But that does not mean that they're going to go out and dominate every time we play against lesser teams. Some teams are going to compete with us in different ways. Some teams have things in their favor that actually works better against us. Like when we faced a team like the Colts last year where we lost 19-13 in that game last year against Indianapolis, that was a game where their O-line was just more powerful than our defensive line and vice versa. Their defensive line was getting pressure. Our offensive line was just getting mauled. So it's all about game script. It's all about how teams match up, and we just happened to not match up against the Colts. Same thing with the Raiders. They had Josh Jacobs. They were pounding the ball. They were running the ball. Their offensive line was just better. Doesn't mean that they're a better team. It means in this specific game, then they were able to come through and prevail, on the half of the lesser team in that situation. So do you guys agree with that?
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. It just makes you think. Like,
we got the Jets coming up soon. Let's not assume
we
we're
don't
gonna
need to
get
go down to
beat by
that
the
level.
Jets.
By God means. So, but yeah, I don't know. So we feel pretty good about going against Broncos, especially Le'Veon. I think it'll be a good Le'Veon warm up. Plain and simple. I think that's what we're using this game for.
Might get 10 touches total at the most for me.
Get used to the
Le'Veon.
offense, get a feel for it, and so he can explode later on.
Yeah, I totally am there with you on that. We'll get back real quick in a little bit about the Chiefs and Broncos just for a second to do our picks on that. But first and foremost, I think we have a big topic here, something that I think is the title of our video here, and we need to make this a talking point within Chiefs Kingdom. And I want all of you guys around town to think about this for a minute. But I am a firm believer that Travis Kelce is the best tight end in Chiefs history. Right now, if you called his career done at this exact moment, I think he's better than anything Tony Gonzalez provided to the Chiefs. And now I'm getting a lot of people out there hating and, oh my God, what's he talking about? Tony's the best. He put up all these numbers. Tanner, we have something to talk about because you're not a fan of my take on this.
No, I'm not a fan of your
take. So I'm very curious what you have to say about this because we're going to dig into this here for a few minutes.
First, can I just throw the big one out right now?
What's the big one, Tanner?
If I was a freaking player on the Chiefs and I played for Andy Reid with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes as my quarterbacks, Guess what? I'd probably be good. Look at Demarcus Robinson. He's good. He's
not
has
that.
numbers.
He's really not good.
He's had numbers.
Marcus Robinson.
Why? Because Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid. What else do you need?
You're gonna say because Demarcus Robinson has done well.
I'm just
with
saying,
Mahomes.
as an example of in the offense that he plays, Kelce plays right now. He has Andy Reid consistently, right? Since 2000.
With Travis,
Yeah.
the whole career.
Right.
Andy Reid's first year with
13?
the Chiefs was 2013, which is when
Right.
we drafted Travis
So his
Kelce.
whole career he is an Andy Reid. Andy Reid, guys. We all know the offensive mastermind. Second, I want to know his quarterbacks. What was his quarterbacks?
Tony G.
No, I want to know Travis Kelce's quarterbacks.
We already went over this. I mean, he's obviously had.
I'm sorry.
We've already had Alex Smith in his first year with the team. Actually, well, the first year with the team, Travis was injured, but
Yeah.
he's had Alex Smith. He's had Patrick Mahomes. He's had a couple games with Nick Foles and Chase Daniel.
Matt Moore.
Okay, a couple
Viking
of Matt,
killer.
one of Matt,
Don't forget
couple of
that.
Matt Moore too.
Well, to your point, I just want to throw this out there. If Tony Gonzalez had Patrick Mahomes for his whole career, I can make a case that he would have been greater than Jerry Rice.
We wouldn't be talking
Jerry
about this
Rice. He would have been the best
guy-
receiver of all time.
This guy would have blown everybody out.
I think you're ignoring the fact of the way that these quarterbacks play at the same time, though.
What are you talking about?
Because we're talking about like if Patrick Mahomes was with the Chiefs, say in 2003, all of a sudden Eddie Kennison and Johnny Morton are putting up 1,200
and they're
yards
great,
each.
right?
What,
Because you got an
those two?
actual quarterback.
I'm just saying you're getting more targets to the boundaries. Where Tony was all about kind of the inside between the hashes, all kind of deal.
Yeah.
So the targets that Tony was getting isn't going to be the same if he had Patrick Mahomes because he's going to throw more to the outside. He's going to be trusting his receivers, trusting more guys like Mark Bowrichter maybe coming in, making plays. Dante Hall would have been effective more in the offense.
You get a
back
big
then.
target like Tony G. I mean, you're talking 6'5", 250 pounds, a guy that pretty much started every single game, minus the first two seasons of his career. Like the guy was consistent. He was always on the field. And one big thing about that versus Travis Kelce gets injured in a playoff game because he's got rocked because he tries to take those hits. He gets injured.
He
Sometimes
had a concussion, Tanner.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about a concussion?
You're not useful if you're not on the field.
He is on the field.
Tony G's on the field.
When's the last time
You can
Travis
count on him.
missed a game?
What was that?
He doesn't miss games. He missed a game. It was the Pat Mahomes rookie year because
Yeah, 2
it was
years
at
ago.
Denver. You know why? Because the whole offense was benched.
Yeah,
Patrick
I'm
Mahomes
just
was
saying-
playing with the backups.
I'm just saying, you're not useful if you're not on the field.
Okay, so
Tony
you're
G,
also-
you knew was on the field at all times.
You're talking like Travis Kelce has some kind of injury problem, which doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I think he's just more fragile.
his rookie. How is he more?
I just
Tanner,
think it's more fragile than Tony G.
his rookie year, he missed the whole season. After that, he's played in every game of his career.
All right. So I just want to go through the numbers real quick. I'm going to give you guys a quick break, then we'll get back to you.
And then we're gonna go to my end of the story.
We're just going to go through the numbers real quick. So for a career, Tony Gonzalez, 1,325 receptions, 15,127 yards, 111 touchdowns. Kelce, 544 receptions, 6,935 yards,
Nice.
42 touchdowns. And I've got to do my spiel here because a lot of you guys probably don't even know this, but Tony Gonzalez played basketball at Cal. Now, his numbers were not that great. He shot 51% from the field, which is really good. But the thing that I always remember about Tony Gonzalez is his legendary dunks over the goalpost. So I feel like, to me, in some ways, he was a better athlete just because he played basketball than Travis Kelce. So I do see Gonzalez as a better athlete. And you also have to look at the fact that this is Kelce's 7th full season in the league. So do we really know how many more years he's going to play? And if we say that Kelce's career is a little bit more than halfway over, then there's no way he's going to catch Gonzalez's stats except for maybe the touchdowns.
Maybe the touchdown.
I could see him catching Gonzalez in the touchdowns. But back to your point, Gonzalez always had mediocre quarterbacks. You give him Mahomes as his quarterback, like I said, he would have been like Jerry Rice-like. And I agree with Tanner here. There's no way that Kelce's going to stay healthy. And
No.
so if
Not
he
late in his
doesn't,
career.
he's got to be healthy the entire time in order to surpass some of these numbers, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, can you do you have the list of quarterbacks that Tony G played with?
I can say some names right now, but you're not going to like any of them, so I'll just spare you.
It's
on
pretty
that one.
rough. I have the list right here if you want me to go through that. And you can count how many Travis has played with and then how many Tony G played with.
Go ahead and go through the names while I cringe.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's start big. Let's just start good, right? Trent Green, right? That was all right. Pretty good. Damon Heward. Tyler Thigpen, which, I mean, we enjoyed him, but not saying that he was good. Here's a cringe. Brody Croyle, guys. Brody Croyle. Whew.
I'm cringing at all of these except for Trent Green. The only one that I will not cringe
He
at.
did get a chance to play with some Warren Moon at the end of his career. Elvis Grbac. And finally, Rich Gannon. Those were the quarterbacks that I found that Mr. Tony G played with.
So you're saying that Gonzalez did more with less? Is that
He
your
did
point?
way more with less. He didn't have Pat Mahomes. He didn't have Alex Smith. He didn't have a consistent quarterback year by year. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, sure, you didn't win a title. Playoff games sucked, but you didn't have really a good quarterback to lead you anywhere. So
it's very interesting to me that you guys bring up a couple different things. First of all, I thought it was weird, Jason. You thought that Kelce had a chance to pass Tony in touchdowns for the Chiefs, which doesn't make sense to me at all. He's 31 years old. He's got 42 touchdowns. Gonzalez had 93 with the Kansas City Chiefs. The touchdown record's not getting touched.
But he has Pat Mahomes.
That's not getting touched. The touchdown record is not getting touched. Tony left the Chiefs when he was 30. After 30, he was 32 years old. And let's keep in mind, Kelce didn't start playing for the Chiefs till he was 25 years old. So also another thing that doesn't make sense to me either, Jason, about what your perspective was as well as your thoughts about winning in big games and what you do and produce in games that matter, games that are on the line, games that are championship-type quality, playoff games for that matter. And Tony Gonzalez did play in 3 playoff games for the Chiefs in his career. He had a total of 11 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 106 yards in 3 games for his playoff career for Tony Gonzalez. And Travis Kelce, meanwhile, has played in 9 games. He's got 52 catches, 632 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And so when we're looking at the way that these guys have actually performed for their teams in times that matter, Kelce's by far done more for the team, as well as with the fact that he wasn't the only weapon on the offense that mattered. The Chiefs have had weapons on the boundaries. He's been around with Tyreek Hill for most of his career now. And Jeremy Maclin, as a matter of fact, as well, was a big part of the offense back then. In the year the Chiefs didn't have a single receiving touchdown from wide receiver, Travis Kelce was the one guy who did catch 5 that same year. So he was actually the one getting open in the red zone. As well as the fact that if you look at their careers in general, Travis Kelce has a 70.8% catch percentage rate for his career, where Tony Gonzalez only had a 65.9% catch rate. That's an extra 5% of your targets thrown your way that you are catching.
Who was
in yards per target?
Who was the quarterback?
In yards per target, Alex Smith and
what kind of
Patrick
ball was being
Mahomes.
thrown?
You had Trent Green over there.
Tell me what kind of ball was being thrown.
Take a look at Trent Green's numbers with Tony Gonzalez and let me know how far he was throwing downfield to Tony. Way more than Alex Smith was.
Yeah, let's go back to Trent Green. Can we make a case that Travis Kelce's worst quarterback is better than Tony Gonzalez's best?
No, Trent Green as a passer was better than Trent Green, by far.
Better than Alex Smith.
As a passer, yes, by far.
So
That's
how
not
do you
debatable.
not think that with 42 touchdowns right now that he can't surpass Tony Gonzalez in touchdowns?
To get to 93?
He's only
Yeah.
31.
Because Travis Kelce's 31 years old.
These guys
He's got
play.
Pat Mahomes.
So he's going to get 10 touchdowns every single year
Yes.
Yeah,
for the rest of his career.
He's the guy open in
He's
the
going to
end
play
zone.
till he's 38,
He's a big body
39.
guy.
But no, he's only had one year of 10 touchdowns in his career for Travis Kelce. But one thing you keep in mind as far as the way that they've produced on the field on a play-by-play basis and the way they've provided to the team, Kelce has a 9.0 yards per target, whereas Tony Gonzalez had a 7.5. This is just with the Chiefs. That's an extra 1.5 yards per target. So when you're targeting the guy, he's going to be getting you an extra 1.5 yards every single time, more production than what Tony Gonzalez was giving you. And to your guys' point, when you guys want to talk about Tony Gonzalez having bad quarterbacks, in 07 and 08, he had 1,000-yard seasons with you guys you talked about. But he was also force-fed. He was the only weapon on the offense that was worth the crap. So he was force-fed the ball, so his numbers were inflated on a bad team that went 2-14 and 4-12 respectively. So, okay, we have, bad quarterback, and we have a great tight end. The numbers would have been way better. So what, Tony would have had 150 catches instead of 102? in 07?
Easy.
No, that's not how it works, Tanner.
Easy.
That's game script, and when you're behind in every single game,
Who else are you going to
Well,
go
you are.
to on that team?
Donnell
Exact-
Bennett. Donnell
Tanner, you
Bennett
just
was
answered
on
my
this
point.
team.
Who else are you
I know,
going to
I'm
throw
just saying,
to?
who else are you gonna go to?
Who else are you going to throw to on that team, Tanner? Tony Gonzalez was
The
the only weapon.
reliable guy. The reliable.
Was
Now,
Donnell
Kelce's
Bennett
reliable.
on any of those teams?
No, he played in the Niners. He was not on that. Tony Richardson was, but not Donnell Bennett.
I just like to say the name Donnell
Donnell.
Bennett and see if anybody remembers that.
I like Kimball Anders better personally, but that's fine. Also, I want to do something real quick. A quick comparison for you guys, just as a matter of fact. The first 6 seasons of actual playing time between both of their careers in the NFL. Let's keep in mind, Tony Gonzalez was the 13th overall pick in the NFL draft. Travis Kelce was a 3rd-round pick from Cincinnati. Kelce's first 6 seasons, he's got 715 targets and 334 first downs converted on those targets. So now against Gonzalez, on his first 6 seasons, 679 targets and 282 first downs. So Travis Kelce has gotten this team an extra 50 first downs over the course of 6 years, more than what Tony Gonzalez provided to the Chiefs back whenever he was drafted in his first 6 years as a player. So when you look at production and route running, Travis Kelce's faster. I mean, he's just a better overall player. He's more reliable. When did Tony Gonzalez ever get a rushing touchdown? He never did. No, he can't run the ball. Travis Kelce can do a direct snap and haul it in the end zone.
You can't say that. Andy Reid is a different
Versatility.
playbook. Andy Reid is a different
Travis
playbook.
Kelce can do everything
Tony
well.
G could have been up there easy.
Travis Kelce can play in line. He can block better than Tony Gonzalez could.
Tony G didn't have those kind of coaches.
He
though.
could play the
didn't
Y.
have
He could
those
play the
kind of
X. He could
coaches.
play outside.
You
He could
realize
play
that,
everywhere.
right?
Tony couldn't do that.
Your coaches were Herm Edwards, Dick Vermeil, Gunther Cunningham, Marty Schottenheimer.
What's your point?
It was old school ball, baby. It was
Did you just
from
call
the
Dick
goddamn
Vermeil
ball.
old school ball?
Yeah, he is.
Did you not watch the Air Coryell offense with Al Saunders?
All right.
You guys keep ignoring
Hey.
this whole big chunk of Tony
No.
Gonzalez's career.
No.
That was amazing with Trent Green.
Here's the thing. Those guys aren't going to come up with those trick plays like Andy Reid.
Trick
does.
plays.
Trick plays.
It's schematic
They're
design with a
different.
misdirection
They're different.
offense.
Yeah, Andy Reid's the one who freaking is a genius about this stuff. These guys aren't going to come up with that stuff.
Al Saunders wasn't a genius? Are you kidding me?
Look, he did.
We had the number one
phenomenal with
offense.
that
We had the number one
we had.
offense in
He was
2004.
phenomenal for the offense we had, but he ain't going to come up with those plays of a pitch to Travis or to Tony G.
He was a genius
in the
in that
fullback.
era. but
Right.
This is a whole new era.
Yeah,
We
This
got
is
better coaches
Wildcat
now.
offense. Wasn't West Coast coming?
Tanner, the
with that?
Wildcat came about again back in like 08 when the Miami
Yeah.
Dolphins beat. So you're bringing up Wildcat. This
I'm
and
just
that.
saying, like this
That was
is
around
a
when
totally
Tony was
different.
playing.
All I'm saying,
Hey, Tony G didn't have that style.
he and I are both
Right.
voting for Tony G, and you're voting for Kelce. What I don't understand is we're trying to help your argument in saying that Kelce can get as many touchdowns as Tony Gonzalez.
Because that's not logical and
And
that's
you're,
not going to
you're
happen.
disagreeing with us. So we're
No.
trying to help you.
I'm
with
telling you
your
guys,
argument.
as a player for the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce's been more productive on the field than what Tony Gonzalez provided to the team during his time with the Chiefs. His value to this team is better than what Tony Gonzalez's value was to the Chiefs
How can it be better if you're the only value?
because we won the Super Bowl. Because we've gone to the playoffs now 4 or 5 years in a row.
Freaking quarterback and a coach and an actual team.
We've gone through with Alex Smith. We know Alex Smith was above average. Trent Green was very good, top 10.
All right, so I think we can agree to disagree on this one. Is
I'll put
that
it this
fair to
way.
say?
Look,
I'll give Tony this. In the red zone, Tony Gonzalez was a better weapon. He was great in the red zone because of that basketball ability you talked about. Between the 20s, Travis Kelce is a better route runner, better overall tight end, better receiver in general than what Tony Gonzalez was by far.
so my final thought on this here is we are humbled to be able to debate about 2 tight ends on the Chiefs in the last 30 years, 20 years. I don't even know how long it's been. I feel like it's been forever. Like to be able to talk about so closely 2 tight ends like this that have made such an impact on our team. I'm happy about it.
I know I let you guys ramble a lot on that one, so that's fine. We can end that discussion
We
there.
rambled or you rambled?
You guys definitely rambled a
I don't know
lot
about
Sure that
that.
you rambled
in the
on
get-go
that.
for sure. So we can take a look back at the clock on that one and see what happens on that. But anyways, the perspectives were very emotional from you guys. So I gave a lot of factual information. So I understand you guys have nostalgia. I like a lot of the old guys around town.
Go ahead.
That's all I had to say about that.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Whatever you'd like.
So on the comments here, Yoga by Alicia. Any commentary on the latest Mahomes news, and any advice for him on his gender reveal being a girl, especially since you two have a baby girl. That's correct. So I could comment real quick on this. I've already talked with my wife about it. So we're holding my daughter back an extra year, so she's going to go backwards. We're going to move to wherever Mahomes is and put in whatever school she goes in. I probably have to work 4 jobs, but damn it, my daughter is going to be best friends with Mahomes' daughter.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say about that is congratulations, because from what I hear, girls are easier. And so Mahomes is going to have a lot more time to study some game film, which is what he should be doing. And but no, congratulations. I mean, baby girl. I mean, that's amazing. But you do spend a lot more time on boys, so I think that'll be better for him and his NFL career.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know, obviously, guys, but I think girls are easier in the beginning. But, I mean, we'll see. As you guys both have girls, we'll see how that goes down the road.
I got the game plan in.
You already know what to do.
I'm already planning it out.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to be best friends.
I'll be looking forward to seeing what name they come up with for Pat Mahomes' daughter. So, anyways, good for them on that, for sure. As far as the guy's question, I don't know what to think on that whole deal. Anyways, guys, now that we got our little discussion out of the way, which we're probably not done with after the show, we'll go ahead and discuss real quick. I was kind of curious. I was thinking about this the other day because one of the things I do love about Travis Kelce is that he's very into the team. He's very into the city. He's very based around, always going around, just wearing his Chiefs hats all the time, even when he's not playing, even when he's not out at the stadium. He goes around town. Big supporter of the community. He loves Kansas City. He's always wanted to be here, wants to stay here forever. So I love that about him as a player for this team. He's very caring. And so he actually kind of reminds me a little bit of some of his style about guys who used to play in the 1990s. And so I was kind of thinking about some players from the 1990s that maybe some of you guys forgot about that you want to hear about, our kind of irrational opinions on. Maybe like, who's your irrational player of all time for the 90s? Jason, do you have one for me that would stand out to you?
I actually have 2, but for right now, I'm going to have to throw it back to you guys because I've got 2 guys. One of them I've already decided on. The second one will be decided by me opening up a pack of 1990 football cards. So I went to the card shop today, guys. I don't know if you guys ever collect football cards back in the day?
Absolutely.
Binder full.
Right. So I went to the card shop, and I'm going to open up a couple of packs right now while you guys give your picks. And this is 1990 NFL Pro Set, and I am going to decide while we are live on who my favorite irrational player was from the 1990s.
Real quick, if one of our players are in that pack, do we get to keep the card?
I'll give you whatever you want, but you got to pay me $5. So here's my pack.
I already like this.
Right there. I already opened
it
it right here. So you guys both give your picks, and I will give you mine at the end.
Take your time. Tanner, you go first, and I'll give you mine.
Go first? All right. So, I mean, 90s player guys, the only thing I can think of is N64, Madden, who I liked playing with, Bubba Franks, tight end, Green Bay. He was just the big guy that you always threw to with Brett Favre, and I don't know. It's just a fun time on there. I always admired his gameplay when I got to see him on TV, but I'd say just based on Madden alone, yeah, I'd do Bubba Franks.
Bubba Franks, yeah, it's a good name that we all remember, I think. Now, keep in mind, guys, like I said, this is irrational. We're not supposed to be over here actually talking about our favorites. I mean, we can all agree Shannon Sharp was better than Bubba Franks.
Yeah.
But anyways, I kind of irrational one that I can think of. Now, I'm going to give it real quick. My actual favorite player from the 90s, for whatever reason, was Fred Taylor. I loved the way he ran the ball. I loved the way he played. I thought he was the perfect blend of height, weight, speed for a running back. And I always thought running backs were super cool because in the 90s they were. In the 90s, it was all about the running backs, the running game, and just big bruisers. We didn't do split backfields like we do in today's game. It was one guy just running the rock. But so one guy who was running the rock that I did like for some reason, irrationally, even though he was an Oakland Raider, in 1995 to 2000, they had Napoleon Kaufman, the running back there, who averaged 4.9 yards per carry for his career. But he was born in Kansas City in June, as a matter of fact, so same month as me. And he actually ran a 4.48 40 at the combine. So, I mean, he was a fast guy. He was constantly known for breaking away big runs. He was a little guy, like 5'9", 180 pounds kind of deal. But I remember when I used to play NFL Game Day '98. I think Terrell Davis was on the cover of that game when I was 7 or 8 years old. Napoleon Kaufman was just a breakaway threat. And for some reason, as a little kid, I just related the name Kaufman to like Kauffman Stadium. So here I am watching Mike Sweeney and thinking about Napoleon Kaufman. It doesn't make sense, but as a kid, you don't really understand.
He was another one of the guys I played on with Madden. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
His career wasn't that bad. He had a little less than 5,000 rushing yards for his career. He ended up being an okay player. Jason, did you find a winner over there?
You guys are not going to believe who I pulled out of this pack.
This is live.
I just pulled a former Chiefs kicker, Pete Stoyanovich.
Ooh.
And in his rookie season, he was 38 out of 39 point after attempts, which was no big deal back then because it was a shorter one. And 19 out of 26 field goal attempts. That was his rookie season with the Miami Dolphins. So that is who I pulled out of this pack, and he is going to be my number one favorite irrelevant player from the 90s. My second one, have you decided yet who it is, Mike? I gave you the initials earlier. Do you have a guess?
Okay, I just looking at the initials. I thought it was going to be Aaron Brooks.
Aaron Brooks, no. That would be wrong. So my favorite irrelevant 1990s guy is going to be Albert Bentley of the Indianapolis Colts. So did you guys ever play I'm going to show my age here for a second. Did you guys ever play the video game on Nintendo called Super Tecmo Bowl?
Of course.
Okay. So Albert Bentley was an absolute stud on that game. I believe Jim Harbaugh might have been his quarterback at the time. So Albert Bentley, he actually averaged only 4.5 yards per carry, which that sounds really good, right? 4.5 yards per carry. Just to put that into perspective, Jamal Charles was 5.4 yards per carry, that's like the best of all time, or one of the best of all time. But the problem with Albert Bentley is he only started 33 games. He played in a total of 90 games, 526 attempts for 2,355 yards. But if you guys ever played that game, Super Tecmo Bowl, that guy would absolutely blaze across the screen. Not quite as fast as Bo Jackson, but that was the first time that I fell in love with Albert Bentley. I'm sure you guys haven't even heard of this guy. Like, who's this guy talking about? But you guys that all played Super Tecmo Bowl, you know who I'm talking about. And Albert Bentley was the man. He actually ran the ball as fast as you could drive if you were riding in a Bentley.
Well, now I know what I'm going to do when I go back to my mom's house. Is pull up her Nintendo Super Tecmo Bowl, and I'm going to go play with this guy.
If you still got one, why haven't we been playing that, Tanner? What
It's
the
at my
heck?
mom's house, dude. It's hers.
Oh, it's her. She's not
Yeah.
letting you use it. She's like, no, this is worth something. Stay in mine forever.
Only when I show up.
Do you have any numbers on Albert Bentley, real quick?
No, I just had the yards per carry and the 2,355 yards for a career.
Okay.
I believe he only played for about 6 or 7 seasons. So, he had the traditional shortened career like a lot of running backs did back then. And even these days, the average career for a running back is just not that long because they get beat up so much. But that 4.5 yards per carry, I mean, if he could have stretched that career out for another 5 or 8 years, you just never know. He could have had a Hall of Fame career.
That's very respectable. 4.5 yards a carry is a great number. I mean, any running back who hits that mark is good. So that's a respectable number for sure.
Very cool. Very cool, guys. That's a creative one, Jason.
And Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith is in there?
I saw that right away.
I pulled a Bruce Smith.
I saw that right
But
away.
he was a relevant player.
Right.
Definitely a
He
relevant
was
player.
relevant by far.
I mean, obviously, he kind of had the most sacks of all time, but I mean, that's cool.
He was just all right.
Yeah, he was all right. He just played multiple positions on the D line and just wrecked people.
All right, you guys can go
Not as good
on.
as not as good as Aaron Donald though. You guys want to do another argument? Aaron Donald's better than Bruce Smith.
Two different eras.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, we won't get into that one, but I was trying to test you guys a little
That's
bit.
hard.
I'm a LeBron James fan. You can't compare eras.
Can't compare eras.
Here we go.
You please go on. I'm gonna open up this other pack.
Open up the other
See
pack.
what
We're
I
going to
got.
move on with the show and go over to our fantasy discussion a little bit here real quick.
30 years old, this pack. I just now
I-
opened it. It's 30 years old. Never
I
been
know.
opened.
Well, if you find any good ones, let us know as we
Find
roll
Bubba
along
Franks,
here.
I want it.
All right, guys. So, Tanner, this past week I was not very happy with fantasy football. Fantasy football has not been kind to me with injuries.
You're not happy?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Tanner, I know you got a victory.
I got my first W
Your
in
first
both my leagues.
W.
Because Julio Jones showed up, A.J. Brown showed up. I'm pumped.
Yes, and you played the worst team in the league. So no matter what you
I
would have
don't
done,
care.
no matter what you would have done, you would have won the game.
I
for
won
sure.
with my quarterback on my ESPN league with my quarterback.
Your opponent scored 51,
getting
Tanner.
-5 is what my quarterback scored, and I still won.
All right. Well, anyways, do you have a surprise for the week, or do you have anyone you want to talk about or mention, or about anything with fantasy-wise this week coming
Actually,
up?
I do. So I was kind of looking back, and a lot of times we go for these, free agents, these nobodies, essentially no names that all of a sudden pop up. But one guy we kind of talked about early in our podcast, a few podcasts ago, DeAndre Swift with the Lions. I was watching that game on the Red Zone. He had 14 rushing attempts, 116 yards, and 2 TDs this week. And he was actually getting the red zone reps over Adrian Peterson consistently this weekend. He was able to get through the holes quicker, but I thought it was interesting that he was almost stealing reps from Adrian Peterson, who has been pretty consistent. I don't know. It was just kind of interesting to see that because we haven't seen much of DeAndre Swift since the drop on week 1.
Yeah, I was happy with that. I actually picked up DeAndre Swift in one of my leagues, and I was happy. I didn't start him, but he's at least on my bench because I think going forward he'll be fine. Last week I told you guys to pick up Christian Kirk, and Christian Kirk had a great game. Finished as the WR3 for the week, just explosive. He only had 3 targets, but the guy was catching bombs and making plays. So I think going forward with that target share going up a little bit, I think that he'll make big plays going down the road. So I hope you guys picked him up for sure. But anyways, as far as a good start of the week for me, I don't really have much in general as far as surprises or disappointments necessarily. I'm pretty disappointed in the whole process at the moment. So let me get over that while I just kind of skip ahead to someone I think you guys should definitely start. And that is definitely Justin Herbert for the LA Chargers going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's a great matchup for him because he's shown himself to be a good player, and they have good pieces around him. He's been arguably the most impressive rookie so far and has put up some impressive numbers in general. I mean, we could talk about Clyde, but Herbert as a quarterback coming in right away. Running backs can come in and be successful, but as quarterback coming in and being that productive and nearly getting a victory over the Chiefs even, that shows a lot for him. So
that's a fair start.
with he's thrown 7 touchdowns in his past 2 games, so I think he's on pace right now. Right now against the Jaguars will be a QB1. So Herbert should be in your lineup if you have a quarterback question.
I don't know if you've watched much of those games from him, but he's actually fairly accurate on his throws. He makes those hard throws too. And Keenan Allen, I think, really enjoys that it gives him a challenge, but he puts it where Keenan Allen can get it or Guyton can get it. So I don't know. I like that pick.
He's done well.
Jason, what do you got, man?
Oh, my biggest surprise has got to be the real Deebo Samuel finally showed up. Now, I know he was injured, but he is on my team. I was happy that he finally showed up to play the game. And he's been injured for a while, but he had 6 receptions on 6 targets, 66 yards, and a touchdown. My biggest disappointment, though, was the fact that I have Jonnu Smith on my team. Although I did find out that this was a minor ankle sprain, and I really needed him. I actually lost last week, and I think I would have won if I had Jonnu Smith. But he should be back this week or next, so I'm not too worried about it.
That's fair. That's fair on that one.
Yeah. Any other fantasy tidbits before we get over to our pick'ems?
Any guys on the waiver wire that you really?
Yeah, I got a waiver real quick. I've got J.D. McKissick. He could actually be the lead back right now for the Washington football team. He's only 23% owned in Yahoo, and he led Washington in total touches and yards. And I don't think Washington is very confident with Peyton Barber and Antonio Gibson or whoever the heck their other running backs are. It doesn't even matter.
There's only 2 I know.
That's a bad team, you guys.
I mean, pick up J.D. McKissick, especially if you're in a full-point PPR, because he's probably going to be getting a lot of touches, a lot of receptions.
Yeah, it sounds like a deep league pickup for sure. My waiver wire, guys, is Travis Fulgham, wide receiver for the Eagles. He had 10 targets last week, 6 receptions, 75 yards, and a TD. He's been actually the top receiver for the Eagles the past couple weeks. So could look at him to continue build relationship or chemistry with Carson Wentz, but he's also getting those targets. He's also a big guy, 6'2", 250 pounds, monster. He caught multiple 50-50 balls this last week. So obviously it's something Carson Wentz likes to do is just toss it up there and hope his receiver gets it. So if you're looking in a deep wide receiver league or need somebody to pick up on a buy, look at Travis Fulgham for a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that one for sure. And I don't know if anyone out there who drafted Dallas Goedert still has him on the team, but now is a good time to go grab him back up again. He was on injured reserve, and he's going to be coming back off injured reserve. And so, as the Eagles' injuries mount, basically, Goddard could provide a beacon of hope, basically. So I think he could come back and get more involved. In week 1, he had over 100 yards receiving. And even though he's a tight end, he's used a lot as a receiver, basically. He's a good route. He actually kind of reminds me a little bit of a lesser Travis Kelce in the way he plays the game as a receiver. So he's a guy who is a good time to go grab him now while he's still sitting there. He's only owned in 24.1% of leagues. So there's a good chance, if you're listening here, he's still available in your league. You'll grab him, be ready to start him, because once they get going again with the Eagles, as far as passing game goes, Goddard will be a top option going forward. So that is my guy for the week, is to get Dallas Goedert. So
That's fair. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a good pick.
It's just somebody people aren't thinking
Guys
about
are
anymore.
coming back now. IR doesn't mean the same thing as past years.
Right? No. You get 6 weeks and you're back. So anyway, I think he's back and good to go, or will be good to go very shortly at least.
Good deal. Well, are we getting into pick'ems?
Yeah, Tanner, I didn't know if you did an update on that because
All
I'm pretty
right.
sure I came back at you guys after last week.
On the screen here for updated pick'ems, I did update it from week 6, and Mike did take the lead this last week, and it came down to JG and Mike on the Cowboys-Cardinals game of who would get that one extra victory. JG had the Cowboys, Mike had the Cardinals. So unfortunately, those Cowboys failed again for JG.
Yeah, I just showed a little bit too much confidence, I think, in Andy Dalton, so I won't make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Or maybe I will. We'll find out. Stay tuned.
And I had a couple picks that had early leads too on mine, and just came back with the other team. So, but yeah, let's get into the pick'ems, guys, as we go through.
Yeah, first one off the list here, Thursday Night Football coming on tonight. Coming on Thursday here. We got the New York Giants going to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not a big fan of this game in general, just because I think they're both bad teams. But I will go with the Eagles here. I think they do get a victory after the Giants came off a win. They're due for a loss because they can't win 2 in a row. Yeah,
I'm going to go with the Eagles here. Both these teams suck pretty bad. The Eagles are somehow favored by 6. I'm going to take the Eagles. Please, guys, do not bet on this game. This is going to be a disaster. Freaking train wreck. The Giants still haven't proven anything to me on offense, so I'm going with the Eagles.
I'm going Eagles over Giants. Yes, the Giants got their win on 1 point versus the Redskins. The football team.
Slip up.
I don't know if you guys heard this. The football team, they're talking about that being their name next year, too.
Yeah, might as well.
So, why not?
I like the name.
Unless you're bothered by it. Are you bothered by it?
I love
somebody
the
might
name.
be offended.
It's an amazing name.
I love it. I like it too a lot.
But yes, the football team should have won that game. But yeah, I'm going Eagles over Giants. Eagles should be a better team overall. So, a pretty easy pick.
All right, rolling into Sunday. To kick off for the week on Fox, we have the Detroit Lions going to the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta getting the victory the previous week. Good for them to finally get on the board, as I thought they would. And I'm going to go for them to go 2 in a row. So I think the Falcons win this game.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Detroit here. And the reason why is because the Falcons are coming off a win, which means they're likely going to lose.
Jason and I agree. Detroit's going to beat the Falcons. I think they're a better team. They have a better run game going on. And their defense is a little bit better as well. So, I don't know. I like Detroit over the Falcons.
What is going on in Cleveland, though? This is a serious problem.
Mayfield's
Those guys are ridiculous.
Chubb's hurt.
Yeah, Chubb's hurt. I understand. They got Kareem Hunt. It doesn't matter. There should be no excuses at this point for the way that they play. and just so inconsistent. Like, at least give a team a fight.
Now, hold on now. We're saying, yes, Cleveland played bad, but could we also credit the Steelers for playing well?
They did,
And
absolutely.
make them look funny?
But
again,
you're not a good team if you're going to get beat like that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
that's
Baker, the way he played was just awful. Getting
Yeah, it was
those the
bad.
turnovers. I mean, I actually, in my fantasy league, I had to start him because my other two quarterbacks were on bye weeks. So I got put in a tough position, and I got screwed. So I'm not a big fan of the way Baker is performing on a consistent basis. With all that talent they got on offense, it's kind of no excuse for it, I think. So in this game, though, against the Cincinnati Bengals, Browns-Bengals, it's a tough one because I actually like the way the Bengals are kind of trending in my mind as far as the way Burrow's played and everything like that. So I actually like the Bengals going forward, and I think maybe eventually they can get it rolling a little bit, maybe win 4 or 5 games at the most. But I think the Browns, just in general, if they can just run the ball with Kareem Hunt, they'll get a victory here. So I'm going with the Browns.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Cincinnati here. Mayfield just doesn't look right to me with that rib injury, and Cleveland's got Case Keenum. So, therefore, I'm going with the Bengals.
all right, here's the deal, guys. When they met up first time, I picked the Bengals, and the Bengals failed me. Granted, it was early. I think Cleveland, who should be a good team, is going to bounce back versus the Bengals. This is a bounce-back game for them. I think Kareem Hunt comes out, rushes for 120 yards, and I think Baker Mayfield plays, and he plays well. So I'm looking at Cleveland over the Bengals.
All right. After that, we got a good game here. Battle of Undefeateds. Is that what this is? The Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Tennessee Titans. This might be the game of the week. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but this is going to be a good game between two great AFC teams. It's a tough call for sure. I'm actually going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers here to continue to win.
Yeah, I think I usually disagree with Mike on everything, and so I'll do that once again. I've got Tennessee here. Pittsburgh is favored -1.5. This is a good game to bet on because I think this is going to be a statement game for Tennessee. This is a formidable opponent. You've got Devin Bush on the other side that tore his ACL, and I believe Pittsburgh is going to have to sell out to try to stop Derrick Henry, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
See, I thought that the statement game for the Titans was that Bills game.
The Bills are not who we thought they were. They're good.
That's fair.
If
Big
you
statement. That's a
compare
big statement.
That's a big
Look,
statement.
they lost to the Titans and Chiefs.
Yeah.
If you're going to compare the Bills to the rest of the AFC East, I agree with you. They're probably going to win that division. But when you scan the rest of the AFC, the Bills are not as good as we thought they were.
Yeah, this is definitely the game of the week. That's my game of the week is the Titans Steelers. But I am picking the Titans over the Steelers. I don't know. Steelers have to come to an end here. They got to make it interesting for the Ravens when it matchup hits. But I like the way the Titans are playing. Derrick Henry is running the ball up people like no other. A.J. Brown, guys. A.J. Brown's bullying cornerbacks, bullying safeties into the end zone. He had 2 touchdowns last week that looked freaking great. Tannehill's throwing the ball thanks to Derrick Henry running the ball. So you can't, and their defense isn't playing that bad. So I don't know. I'm gonna go Titans over Steelers. I just think their momentum carries them through this game.
All right, after that, we got a divisional matchup here going on with Carolina Panthers going to the New Orleans Saints. And this should be actually a decent game. I think the Panthers this year are playing okay. They're, I think, in my opinion, slightly below average against the rest of the NFL. But I will definitely go with the Saints, which reminds me a little bit of Mardi Gras, which means I need to crack open one more drink over here. This is a Tank 7 this time from Boulevard Brewing Company. So going with the Saints, guys. What you got?
I am also rolling with the Tank 7 right now. I'm actually going to agree with you this time for once, Mike. I'm going with the Saints. You've got Teddy versus his former team, and they should know him very well. So I think that defense is going to have enough to stop him. I'm going with the Saints.
Well, my beer choice is Out of the Blue by Limitless here. Pretty blueberry IPA. It's pretty damn good. So Michael Thomas, injury revealed today. He may be out again this week. That's what they announced today. So we'll see day by day on that one, how that goes out. Yeah, I got to go Saints still over the Panthers. Panthers are coming off a loss that could turn into a streak for them, I think, until McCaffrey comes back. So I am going Saints.
All right, after that we got Bills getting back on track against the Jets. I think Bills go 5-2 here, and they'll beat the New York Jets.
Yeah, I've got the Bills for sure. That is an 11.5-point spread. And I think the Buffalo Bills, after those last two games, they've got some soul searching to do, and I think they're going to find it. So I've got them covering the 11.5 points.
I'm going the Buffalo Bills. Easy. I mean, why would I pick the Jets?
Did you just try to fake out the audience,
You guys
Tanner?
like that? I knew the Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
The New York Bills.
Why would I pick the Jets? Why would I pick any New York team?
They might as well not win any games.
Like,
So
just go back.
that's a
to
pretty just bad organization. It has been for a long time. So after that, another one that's kind of a turd. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team. This is a tough call, you guys. I'm serious.
It's actually
It's
a lot
actually
closer
a
than
tough
it
call. I
should
don't know
be.
what the line is. Do you have the line on this, Jason, real quick?
I do. It is minus 3.5 towards Dallas.
Oh my God, this is a problem. We have an issue. Okay, I'm gonna pick Dallas because they have better talent, and then just hope that Dalton and all them can just not shit the bed. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I told you that I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice in betting on Andy Dalton. Therefore, I am going to make the same mistake twice. I've got Dallas in this game. Washington just looks like crap on offense. They're only getting like 15 points a game in their last three. I think Dallas's offense is going to be a little bit more in sync this time around. Definitely don't bet on this game, guys, but I am taking the Cowboys.
Who's starting the quarterback for a football team?
It's random. Yeah,
cares?
Is it
every
Kyle
week.
Allen?
Who cares?
Yeah, it really doesn't
Maybe
matter.
Haskins.
Well,
Doesn't
Tanner,
matter.
obviously I'm not going to make fun of Alex Smith because we all love him.
No,
but
that's who I'm waiting to hear.
but-
Alex Smith start.
when he came into play, he threw for like 37 yards.
Yeah, his first game back. Let him get the rust off.
I'm just saying,
Honestly-
no matter what they do, it's bad.
I wish they would just go ahead and bring Vinny Testaverde back out of
That'd be
retirement.
great.
That'd probably be their best option right now.
Hey, how do you feel about Jeff George coming back?
I mean, why not? He could probably still play.
I bet he could. One of those two could.
Testaverde was the ageless wonder, though.
What?
I don't know. Jeff George.
I feel like he's got more left.
what are
in
you
the
talking
tank.
about? Jeff George was there, was a backup forever.
Jeff George played a lot.
Like he was there before, still there. And
Want to bring back
finally
Gus
got it.
Farrat? Maybe he'll get a chance to come back and play a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going Dallas. I don't want to, but I'm going Dallas.
You got to pick somebody, Tanner.
Yeah, it's Dallas, guys. I don't
All
know.
right. Well,
Bad.
anyways, moving on from a game that we really didn't even want to talk about. Somehow we did. We've got the Green Bay Packers going to the Houston Texans. This will actually be a pretty good game because Rodgers is not going to be happy after the way things played out last week.
Not at all.
And Houston Texans are getting, they got a victory. Good for them. Great. And I think I love Watson. You guys know this. But I think that Green Bay does get a victory here, but it's not that easy. So.
Yeah, this is actually going to be my easy money bet of the week, guys. Green Bay is only minus 3.5.
Wow.
And I believe that they're going to easily cover. Houston is allowing 177 rush yards per game, which is dead last in the NFL. And Green Bay has a guy by the name of Aaron Jones. And I think that Green Bay is going to easily cover that 3.5 points in this game.
Yeah, Aaron Jones rushed for 13 yards last week.
Well, we know how he's capable of, Tanner.
Aaron Rodgers is horrible.
Yeah, did you mention that they played Tampa Bay?
The best rush
That
defense in the
might be
NFL.
pretty
This is
good def-
ridiculous. All right,
Yeah.
I talked up the freaking Green Bay Packers up like they were gonna win 6 Super Bowls.
Jason and I both picked Tampa Bay.
You guys both picked Tampa Bay, and then they go out and just poop themselves on the field. So, it's going to be Green Bay over the Texans. Texans aren't that good. Aaron Rodgers will come back. It'll be fine. But early turnovers is what kills the Green Bay Packers momentum. It's what kills Aaron Rodgers' momentum. If the Texans get early turnovers on Aaron Rodgers, it's a whole different ballgame. But I am going Green Bay, who should win this game against the Texans.
God awful rush defense. That's all you have.
The
to know
Texans
about this
defense
game.
is terrible. So
God awful.
Yep, Green Bay for all of us then. All right, after that we got a good one, another divisional game. The Seattle Seahawks going to the Arizona Cardinals. This will be a great game as usual for the last few years for sure. This is a toss-up for me, 100%, 50-50 coin flip in my opinion. I don't know what the line is yet, Jason, but I will go with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet on this game. Arizona's coming off a short week, but they are coming off a win, and I think they're going to be a little bit too cocky in this game. Seattle's coming off the bye week. I do have Seattle for the win.
I have Seattle over Arizona as well.
All right. Now, should we go ahead and just head on real quick the Chiefs game?
Yeah, we got to make our
It's
picks.
coming down our pick list, and Chiefs at Denver Broncos. Looking forward to this. Obviously, we look forward to every Chiefs game. But I definitely think the Chiefs do win in funny fashion because I notice every time we play the Broncos, it seems like Andy Reid likes to pull something out that really kind of shoves it in their face. He does something, it seems like every time. You guys remember the Dontae Poe touchdown pass to Demetrius Harris? That was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I was there.
You were at that game.
I was at that
Yes.
game. That was fabulous. I was actually on the Jumbotron, too, as soon as we got in the stadium for our tailgate. So
Yeah.
I remember that game very well.
Awesome. We've had a lot of great memories of ways that we've humiliated the Broncos over the past, 10 to 15 years, actually. But, let's ignore the Peyton Manning years real quick, just so I can get that in there for a second. All right, you guys. Anyways, anything else to say about the Chiefs game? I'm going Chiefs.
I would just say that Mahomes has a 103.4 passer rating against Denver, and I am betting on the Chiefs in this one.
Ooh,
Chiefs.
So Patrick Mahomes is going to go 6-0 for his career against Denver?
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Well, I'm just saying that's
The Chiefs are going to win the game. I'm not betting them to cover or anything like that.
No, I'm just saying Mahomes' record all time against the Broncos is 5-0 currently.
Yes, that's correct.
So he'll go to 6-0 with a
I do
victory
believe
here.
he will go to 6-0.
So I like that. I like that stat. I hope that stat continues for sure.
6-0 like Jordan.
Ooh, well, we got ways to go for that. We got a few more years for that to happen. All right. After that, we got the 49ers going to the New England Patriots. 100% Patriots for me on this one. I do not like the 49ers at all this year with any game, really. So Patriots for me.
No, I think Cam just looked awful in that last game, and I think he's a shell of himself right now. I do think he's going to get it right throughout the season, but it's not going to be this week. I like how the Niners are playing. I'm going Niners.
Did you say Niners?
Niners. Did I say 76ers or did I say Niners?
Yeah, you said Niners.
49ers.
Guys, this is my upset game of the week. 49ers are going to beat New England.
Yes!
New England's beat down last week. They're going to get beat down again.
You can go ahead and bet on it right now.
49ers
Bet on
over
it.
New England. Cam Newton has struggles again.
Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank.
All right, you guys. I'm glad you guys are done celebrating your prediction. That was very wonderful and cute.
We like Jimmy Garoppolo. I just have to get that out there for my daughter. My daughter has a thing for Jimmy Garoppolo, so we just had to
That's
get
a
that
story
out
for
there
another
right now.
day, Jason. We'll have to share that one for a different podcast, I think, at some point down the road. We'll bring it back up again, though. Keep that in mind for sure. All right. After that, we got one more before the evening game. We have the Jaguars going to the Los Angeles Chargers. 100%. I already told you guys I want Herbert to be your starting quarterback this week. Go Herbert and go Chargers.
I'm going Chargers for sure over the Jags. Jaguars are not playing well, in case you guys haven't noticed. But look at Cole. Look at the wide receiver Cole for the Jags to make some more, get some more receptions. He had a big game last week. Look at him to have another pretty decent game this week as well.
Yeah, I got the Chargers in this one. Jacksonville is averaging about 15 points a game in the last 2 weeks, so that's an easy pick for me. I'm going Chargers.
All right. Now, this is going to be a really good game for Sunday Night Football, by the way, you guys. I'm really excited for this, to see the Buccaneers going to the Las Vegas Raiders. And just for a couple different reasons. I mean, we're getting to see John Gruden play his former team that he won a Super Bowl with. And so that's going to be, I think, a big kind of ticket item right there, as well as the fact that we're seeing a great team with the Buccaneers kind of on the rise this year with Tom Brady facing off against Derek Carr, against the Raiders team who's trying to get momentum rolling. I think this game in general will be a very fun game to watch. Let's hope the referees can stay out of this and just let the players play. But I'm going Tampa Bay here all the way.
I'm going Tampa Bay as well. I like what TB12, or Tom Brady as we call him, I like what he's doing, but I like the defense even more. So I've got Tampa Bay, and they will cover the 3 points.
Yeah, so on Monday, hopped on Twitch and was checking out podcasts. Hopped on the Bucks report on Twitch. And they were talking about the Bucks game and the reaction and everything. They made some good solid points. Those linebackers are fast for the Buccaneers, and I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to run on him. Not even Josh Jacobs. So I am going to go in Tampa Bay for that win in Vegas Stadium.
All right, and to wrap up the week for that, We have the Chicago Bears going to the Los Angeles Rams. Should be another good game, I think. But I will go Rams here for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears. The last couple of meetings that Jared Goff has played against the Bears, he plays like an a-hole. So, and I like the Bears defense, so I'm going with the Bears in this game.
Yeah, I've picked against the Bears every week. So I'm going to pick the Bears this week.
Yes.
The Bears are going to beat the Rams. The Rams were embarrassing last week. I'm going Chicago Bears to beat the Rams this week.
I still can't believe that we were I think we were all haters on the Bears going into the season.
I didn't pick them I don't think I picked them 1 week.
We were all haters because we were making fun of the Bears about divisional picks, stuff like that, and we were all wrong.
And they still win.
They just go out and start winning games. And, hey, congrats to Nick Foles. I mean, Nick Foles has been a big part of that, so
It's just a culture thing.
kudos to him for sure. If Trubisky was still there, I don't think they would be at this
it
point.
always feels, too, like when you hear the national media, like ESPN and people like that talk about the Bears, you always think Nagy's on the hot seat. But the guy is still winning with his team.
Good for him because he could have been actually on the hot seat
on
if
the
they
hot
were
seat this year.
losing.
But they're what, 5-1? So
Right, if they were 1-5, he would be on the hot seat.
totally different ballgame.
100%. All right, do you guys have any final thoughts for the evening? Jason, I know you opened up another pack, but anything else you guys want to talk about before you close it up
I
here?
opened up another pack, and I know you guys are probably getting tired of my irrelevant players by now, so I'm going to give you a relevant player. I just pulled a 1990 rookie card of the one and only Emmitt Smith. There it is right there. I pulled that out of a pack live. That's all I have to say. Good night.
All right, guys.
Very nice, very nice. Get that autograph, see what happens with it.
That's actually pretty cool. Real quick, my final thought, guys. Right now, the World Series is going on. It's the LA Dodgers, Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay or LA Dodgers, I'm pretty sure have 3 players that combine the total salary of the Tampa Bay Rays. I am going smaller market. I love the Tampa Bay Rays playing them. Kershaw played hella lights out last night when he needed to. Way to go, Kershaw, for showing up in a playoff game and a World Series game. I hope they continue, but I really am pushing for Tampa to win the World Series. I don't need another LA team winning a freaking championship. So that's my final thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think they're going to win anyway, but I mean, I feel the same way. That's why I was kind of anti-Lakers because
Don't
I
doubt
don't know.
Tampa, though.
Okay, well, do you think they'll come back?
I think they will.
Any chance?
It's only,
All right.
it's only game 2 tonight, I'm pretty sure. So
Okay.
I ain't too worried about it. Like, it's going to be down 2-0. It'll be fine.
All right. Well, we'll see if the debate tomorrow night is as good as ours was on this podcast. So I enjoyed our little banter, but like I said, we're probably not finished with this discussion down the road. We're going to have more talks about this.
Did you call out our Twitter?
Not yet, Tanner.
Okay.
Do we need to call out the Twitter?
I think we need to call out our Twitter guy.
Well, we did call out the Twitter guy.
We did? Okay.
Sherlock
I just wanna make
Mahomes?
Sure. Yeah.
Sherlock Mahomes, of course I did. Right, right at the
Just making
gates.
sure.
Right at the gates, Tanner. Sherlock
I appreciate
Mahomes
that,
got a quick
follows.
shout out. Absolutely, we're going to do this for every 100 follows. So right now we're somewhere in the mid 200s. We start off with 100. We had our guy John Smarlos, and then at 200 we had Sherlock Mahomes. And 300 we're going to have another one. So whoever our 300th follower is, we're going to give you guys another shout out too for that. So we appreciate you guys very much for following along with us and following us on Twitter at Sports Buffoons, following us on Twitch at Sports Buffoons 15, 15 as in Patrick Mahomes 15. So that's just a way to look at it there. So anything else, guys, before we wrap it up? I know we went a little long with you today for whatever reason. We just kind of ran a little long, but
Great.
It
Yeah.
happens.
So also check us out on Facebook.com/SportsBuffoons. We are up and live there. YouTube.com/SportsBuffoons as well. We do have an Instagram page going on. It's not very good because I don't know how to use it, plain and simple. But we are up there as well if you want to check it out.
yeah. And by the way, guys, I was a little under the weather for the podcast today. So if I sound a little weird, I know we're at the very end. That's what was going on. Just have allergies.
We just got tons of weather changes.
If you were-
happening
Too
right
much
now.
of this right here.
If you were in
This is tank seven.
If you were in
Got a little
Kansas
bit
City
too
right
much.
now, you would understand about the allergy season. So things happen. So if I sound nasally, or if I did, I should have said this at the beginning actually, but that's all right. Things happen. So, anyways, thank you so much, Jason and Tanner, for coming along again for the whole Buffoons podcast. Jason, give me a final shout out here. Let's go. What do we got?
Yeah. If you guys have any packs of cards that you want to open up, you make sure you let me know. what you get in those packs. I want to see what you're pulling out of there.
And I want to hear about your Travis Kelce versus Tony Gonzalez thoughts as well. So I want to hear your input from all you fans out there.
They
So
both suck. That's all you have to know.
someone's going to hate me. Someone's going to love me. I don't know which, but someone's going to say I didn't do good enough job of holding my guy down. So whatever. That's fine. I gave you guys a stage. I let you guys rant for a little bit, but it was a very emotional stage, I thought. But